Welcome to this guided meditation for anxiety, specifically meant for my folks out there who also have ADHD. So when we have ADHD and anxiety, it can be really hard for us to do things like meditate. And that's why I find that a meditative breathwork practice, like the one I'm going to guide you through today, can be really helpful to help you get out of the head and into the body. When we have anxiety attacks, when we feel anxious, we're often in our heads thinking those same thoughts, going over and over again in our brain, and we're very disconnected from our body. And so breath work and somatic movement, which we'll do today, can be really helpful to get us back into this place of ourselves and out of our heads. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position for this practice. We're actually going to do two different breathwork techniques today. One is going to offer you a little bit of activation, and then the other is going to be really calming to your nervous system. Now, this is a little bit different than other anxiety-based breathwork practices. If you look those up here, you might just find folks trying to guide you through a really calm and soothing breathwork meditation, and those are really amazing for most of us. But there are times when we are anxious and our ADHD is really peaking and we feel like we're really struggling, and a calming breath work is just, it ain't it, okay? So we're gonna have a little bit of activation and then we'll go into that calming breath work, because I have found for myself, for my clients, for the groups that I lead, that this is like the perfect way to get back into the body when we not only have anxiety, but we have ADHD too. So seated for this practice, long spine, thinking of that head, spine, and tailbone being all in alignment. This practice is going to be a 1-to-1 breath. That just means that your inhale and your exhale are the same length. We're going to be inhaling and exhaling through the mouth. Sometimes folks call this a blow breath, and you can just think of like you blowing out candles. This is what it sounds like. So pretty relaxed, right? The inhales and the exhales aren't too forced. Now, if you find that that's not enough activation for you, you could do this in a little bit more of an intense way like this. Really pushing. We're thinking about breathing into the belly. We're thinking about that belly softening on the inhale and snapping back on the exhale. Now, to pull in some somatic movement for this practice, I'm also going to have you use your arms. So when we inhale, our arms go up. And we exhale, the arms come down to our sides, like that, okay? So this is what the practice looks like. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 rounds of roughly 20 breaths. Don't worry, I will count for you. At the end of each round, we're gonna do a very short breath hold along with some muscle tensing. And that's another really amazing way to help eradicate anxious thoughts, okay? So I'll cue you, we will all work together on this, and when you're ready, we'll get started. Let's take a cleansing breath just in and out now before we get going. Centering ourselves, maybe thinking about our intention for being here. And let's get going. Ready? 3, 2, 1. In, out, in, out, in, out. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. Hold your breath. Squeeze your muscles while you're doing it. Squeeze your legs, your thighs, your pelvic floor muscles, your torso, your chest, your hands. Squeezing your face. Holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Checking in with your body, noticing how you feel now. Maybe you feel a bit of warmth. If you start to feel a little lightheaded on this, just lay down. Taking a few cleansing breaths now. Let's get ready for round 2. 3, 2, 1, begin. In and out. Think about blowing the candle out. great. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale through the nose. Squeeze your muscles. Squeezing everything. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your pelvic floor, your legs, your thighs, your hands, your fists, your torso, your back. Keep holding your breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Maybe give yourself a shake. A couple of cleansing breaths here. And again, tapping into the body. How are you feeling? Do you feel like you need a little bit more activation? If you do, you can make those breaths a little bit more forceful. If you feel like this is perfect for you, stay with me here on those relaxed inhales and exhales. And again, if you start to feel lightheaded, you can lay down. Now we're only gonna do this one more time, and then we'll move on to a different breathwork practice. So really think about tapping into the body here, releasing those anxious thoughts, releasing that stress, and being right here, present and grounded with me now. Ready? Let's go for round 3. In 3, 2, 1, begin. You're doing great. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. Squeeze at the top. This is our longest hold. Hold that breath. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your roots, squeeze the pelvic floor, your belly, your chest, your hands, your feet. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You can do it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Give yourself a little bit of a shimmy if you need to. All right, how are you feeling? So that was the activating portion of the breathwork practice. Now we're going to go into a more calming, nervous system soothing practice. Again, that can really help you feel relaxed, release stress. And now, those ADHD folks of mine, my loves, you might be better able to do that now, right? Because we have that activation. So this is going to be an inhale through the nose, an exhale through the mouth, and as you exhale, I'd like for you to add a sigh. We're going to be practicing inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 6. So that exhale is a little bit extended. That really helps to soothe the nervous system, to bring that parasympathetic nervous system back online. That's just the place within ourselves where we start to feel a bit safer, okay? This is what it looks and sounds like. Juicy, relaxed, should feel good in your body. You don't have to be loud about your sigh, you don't have to do any moans or growls, but if you feel like you want that and your body wants that, I'm always going to be here for the weird, so please do that if that feels good for you. So we're going to start with just 2 rounds of this breath, 8 to 10 breaths total, and then we'll move on and we'll extend that exhale a little bit longer, okay? So getting comfortable again, maybe switching your position. If you want to lay down for this, you totally can. Remembering we're in through the nose, out through the mouth with a sigh. Ready? We're going to begin in 3, 2, 1. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, out. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. One more breath pattern go and breathing naturally now. Checking in with your body again, noticing how you're feeling. If you're seated and you want to lay down, this is the perfect time to switch. If you're laying down and you want to come to seated, you can do that too. Check in with yourself. How are those sighs feeling for you? Could you go a little deeper? Could you give me a little bit more sound? Using sound, again, really helps to stimulate the vagus nerve, which is central to our nervous system. With that sound, the vagus nerve is vibrated because it goes through the throat. And again, it really helps to relax and tone our nervous system. So if you've got it in you, give me a little bit more sound on the side. I'll give you some more sound on the side too. All right, let's do round 2 here in 3, 2, 1. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. Out. 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 2 more. In. Out. In. Out. Let it all out. Coming back to that natural breath. Swallowing a few times. Now we're going to do this one more time. The exhale extending even longer to an 8-count exhale. That gives you even more time for that sigh. So if you haven't found your voice yet, if you feel a little weird doing this, that's totally okay. It took me months to feel comfortable doing this, even in my quiet house. So I see you. But you get to be weird, you get to be silly, and you get to do fun things when it comes to healing anxiety, okay? So we're gonna do this 8 times. Inhale for 4, exhale for 8 with a sigh. Are you ready? Okay. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. 2 more. In. Out. Last time. In. Out. Exhale all that air out. Feeling the vibration in your chest and belly. Back to normal breathing now, in and out at your own pace. How do you feel? Are you in your body? Or are you still thinking about those anxious thoughts? Maybe you are now because I've mentioned them, but know that you can try this practice at any time when you're having some anxiety. I really hope it feels like something that you can do on your own, that you can do regularly. And also I want you to know that there are a lot of different breath work and somatic practices out there. So if this does not feel like your jam, that's totally okay. I've got plenty of other videos on my YouTube page, and I hope that you check those out. You can always find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at Leslie Draffin. And if you want a little bit more support, head to the links in the profile page here on YouTube. That's where you can find a link to book a free call with me. We can chat about what's going on, and I can help set you up with a plan that feels really good for you. Thank you so much for breathing with me today. I'm really proud of you for taking the time to get to know your body, to get to learn the language of your nervous system, and for taking some time for you. I'll see you next time.